Hello. Welcome to another episode of We Ain't Them. I believe this is episode 18.
Who's counting?
Yeah, at this point, it is Who's Counting. I am your host, Rasan, along with my co-host, Ebony.
Hello, everybody.
Before we get started today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We come up with episodes every other Tuesday, so definitely check us out on Spotify as well as YouTube, and of course on Apple Podcasts. That's my favorite place to watch it, or listen at least. But today, I've been waiting for this episode for over a month now, so I'm so excited. Mainly because I met these two young ladies at a mixer, the Need to Know mixer.
Yes.
So, I was excited when I saw them. We got along so well. Let me introduce Momo and Theresa.
Hi. Hi, guys.
More Than Vaginas podcast.
Is there?
I love the name.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
love it. I love
Thank
the
you.
name, so, yeah.
Thank you so much. We were high.
Yeah.
It's funny
I
because
was really about to ask, how did that happen?
it all started because we were high, and then Devon was like, "Oh, you guys sound like a podcast." So
It's not even no. You gotta set the scene.
Go ahead. Create the scene.
We was doing a Friendsgiving, right? Because COVID was happening, everything was locked down, and we were like, we hadn't seen each other in a while.
Right.
So Momo was like, you guys should come over here. We'll all order a whole bunch of different food, and we'll just eat, get high, catch up.
Right.
Fine. So we did that, and we're eating the food. We're eting all of the food: the sushi, the Whoppers, the this,
We
the
was
that.
wilding the fuck out.
Oh my God.
We was wilding the fuck
I
out.
just want to know,
point-
why wasn't we friends before?
At one point, the Uber driver and then the DoorDash person. They
arrived at the same
arrived at the same
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Yo,
it was
so
Domino's.
funny. Yes,
it was
Domino's.
sushi.
Yep.
It was Burger King.
Yep.
It was Thai food.
Yep.
It
Stoner's
was
Paradise,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
And then we had snacks too.
Oh.
We was wilding.
Y'all was
the
living
fuck
it
out.
up.
We was sitting there and we got high or whatever. And then Momo's like, this is how y'all know I'm high when I'm starting to pet. She has a dog named Sade. She was like, when I start petting Sade, that's when you know.
And then I was like, guys.
She was like, guys, it's happening.
It's happening.
And Sade's just loving it because she's just like, my mommy's petting me. But really, Momo's just like, I need something
She was
tactile
soft.
right now. She's
Yeah.
soft. And then Dev comes out of nowhere, out of the room. He's like, yo, because we were just sitting there talking shit, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yo, y'all should start a podcast. Just think about that. And then he disappeared back into the room.
That
imagine.
sounds like meeting him. That sounds exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds like he would just say something brilliant
Yeah.
And then
just walk away. You'd be like,
Where was that?
It's imagine somebody just levitating in and then levitating back out.
Right.
And then obviously we're high, so imagine smoke.
Yes,
that atmosphere.
It seems
Every
like
time I think about that scenario, I'm really picturing it being smoky in there. And we wasn't smoking.
We wasn't smoking.
We was eating edibles.
Did we eat? We had
We had a
edibles.
brownie.
That was
But it was fun. So
That's how it
then the
came
following
about.
week, I was like, listen, he said he can make it happen. So let's do it. Why not?
I'm not
started off
gonna
in the
lie.
bedroom.
I'm definitely not gonna lie. It sounds like an episode of That 70s Show.
Yo.
It literally sounds exactly
it really is.
like that.
It really
That's
is.
true. When the
Yeah.
camera goes
Especially
around.
with the
around the table.
You petting Sade
With the dog.
because there's always somebody
Yes.
doing something else.
Yep.
Somebody's on a crossword puzzle looking at.
It's so crazy because around the table at that 70 show, I was like, oh, they passing the blunt. Like, that's what it is. Like,
Yep.
Yo, it took me a
Little
minute
do
to
you
realize
know.
that when I was like,
mhm.
that's smart.
He's the one
Bitch,
who
you
told
just
me that.
told
I
me
would have never
something new.
known.
I didn't
Yes.
realize that till right
Yeah.
now
They
when you just
passing
said
the
it.
blunt.
That really is what they doing.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, he put me on. I'm like,
shit.
wait.
Yep.
And they
Really?
put that shit on national TV. That was on Fox, right? Fox would do that shit.
It's
course
if you
Fox
know,
would
you
do
know
that.
Fox would
type
do
of
that
shit.
shit.
It's if you know type of shit.
Oh yeah. So I'll say the story of how we met. So besides being at a mixer, so I just walked up to Theresa and Momo, and I was just like, "Hey, I've seen your podcast. I love
We
your
was
podcast."
drunk.
It was dope, but they were
I was
so drunk, and we was just laughing, having a good time. And Ebony was at the beach because she was a little scared to show up to the
Let
mixer.
me tell you, the roots. Now, see, y'all don't understand. When you get box braids and the roots start looking dusty, no, I'm not going.
No, he told us. He told us,
and we was like, "Yo, we totally
understand.
we get it.
Like,
we get
know
it.
why she's not here."
Yeah,
We
so
understand.
I'm at the beach. I was not there at the mixer, ladies and gents. I'm at the beach, and I get 2 voice messages, and I hear, beautiful, lovely women. I'm like, what's going on?
I was like, we wish you were here.
Yeah,
I was the first voice note
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was like, yo, get out your phone, get your text. I was like, let me send this to her, and I took the phone. I was like, hey, where you at? This Theresa from Mother Vaginas. We wish you was here.
He was like,
my
"Let
God.
me send my
I
girlfriend."
was loving it. I'm like, yes.
And then I grabbed Momo. I was like, Momo, send the voice note.
Because at first she was like, "Who the fuck is this?"
No, I didn't say that.
No.
But
She
I would
said
do
it.
the same thing. I'm like, who the fuck?
I was
are these
confused. It was
people?
out of confusion, not because I was on some shit.
But
Yeah, that's
it
what it
was
was.
so random though. Like it's like randomly these 2 girls
Yeah.
just yelling your name out and shit like that. Like what's going on? Like
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Is this a
Yeah.
prank?
That
prank
makes
caller?
sense. That makes sense.
No. But I realized 2 things that day. One, Theresa could be my drinking partner.
And from the looks of how she poured my wine, she could be my drinking partner too, ladies and gentlemen.
And 2, and take this for what it is. Don't fuck with Momo.
Oh my god!
Yo, I was just like, let me just.
That's when I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking after that. No, I didn't. I had one more drink.
No, I'm not gonna go into the details, but
I
somebody
was-
deserved what they was getting because
Yeah.
they didn't know.
Oh, I know about
they
the
played.
bathroom
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because listen, not for nothing. The general story is like it was my man that was going to the bathroom, and then somebody want to make a scene, and I got a little upset and
She was off that Patron.
Ooh.
I was off that Patron.
like-
I had no, it was Patron. I had double Patron on the rocks with a splash of pineapple. That's what I had. That's my drink. That you go with that drink. You don't need like 4 or 5 drinks. That's what I always go for. Double whatever with a splash whatever. But I was I tied my hair up and everything because
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
It
Momo
was
even
that
looked at me and
serious.
was like, "You ready?" I was like,
It was like.
I didn't say you ready. I said
it
you
was
ready.
like.
"Yeah, bitch, yes, you did."
Even though-
Damn.
Momo looked at me and was like,
Yes,
"Bitch, la 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 la," and I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, heard you."
I had my heel. I was like, "What's up?" Nah, I'm ready. I'm
Mind
ready. Why
you-
is she coming over here? Why is she coming over here?
Yo, mind you, in my head, I'm like, think about the titties. Because if a brawl starts, if
The
women start
titties,
fighting, the titties just fly
Fly
out.
out.
You know what I mean?
And what I had on, I had a kimono and a fucking
it would have just been
bralette
titty
on. That's
central.
it.
That's not classy.
Nah. But I was ready, and then you was there in front of me,
And I was like trying to defuse.
And
I was like,
look, and
what?
I'm standing in front of you because I'm just like, I don't know what's
I
about
was like,
to happen. But I just want to make sure, like me, I'm like, I know that violence is about to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm like standing in front, and Devon's looking at me like, I appreciate you. I was like, listen.
was
I
funny.
was like, listen, it's y'all mixer. It don't make no sense to be fighting at y'all mixer. Somebody else's mixer, that's somebody else's problem.
Wait, the mixer was here?
no. It was
in,
in the city. It was,
on
LES.
Orchard. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
LES,
that's my
yeah.
spot, man.
I
like
forgot what the
LES.
place was called.
I forgot to.
I forgot. It's something room. That's what I remember.
Elbow
Orchard
room.
room.
Orchard
The
room.
Orchard
I was about to say
room.
elbow
Yeah.
room.
It's a really small that elbow.
It was
There's
small.
a spot called Elbow Room in the city.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Small as fuck.
Also, yeah, I believe it. There's this fucking spot in the LES called La Línea. And what it is,
I
is
heard
just
about La
I've
it's
been
just
to
a
that.
line.
I've been there.
It's just
I've literally
you've
been
been
there.
to La Línea.
I have?
Yes.
My cousin's been there. They keep telling me. They said it's lit though.
It is lit, but it's tiny.
It's on
Yeah.
first.
It's
been there?
tiny.
It's
Yes.
on- Yep.
Yes.
I've definitely been there.
You have been there for
I
Vanessa's
wanna go
birthday
there.
thing.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Honestly,
yes.
it's just really small. And
It's
like,
super. It's a
bullshit.
hallway. It's basically a hallway with a bar
and then you
in
have
it.
a room that you can book
And then
in the
there's
back.
a room in the back, and it's hot as fuck.
I was only there for
Yeah.
a little bit because they wouldn't let Devin because he had to fit it on.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right,
I mean,
well,
you know how bouncers are with they fit it.
yeah, it's just
dress
it's
code.
like, but why can't guys wear shorts but girls can wear shorts to the clubs? You know what I'm saying? I guess it's aesthetic.
It's the aesthetic.
I guess
It's the
really
aesthetic, yeah.
I realized
Because
that.
you'd rather see a woman's legs than see a man's legs.
Yeah.
And women wear I mean, granted, now that Hoochie Daddy shorts is out.
But
Hoochie
guys
Daddy,
wanna wear
yeah.
Daddy shorts.
Hoochie Daddy. Yo.
It's the
I'm not wearing-
summertime.
I'm not wearing no hoochie daddy shorts.
I mean, and that's fine. That's your prerogative.
No, listen, these thighs is way too thick for hoochie daddy shorts. I can't do it.
But it's the boys with the thick thighs that be serving.
Yup, those are the ones that are
Unfortunately-
serving.
We don't wanna see no chicken legs. Come on now.
Apparently, these thick thighs save lives too. So, I don't want to go too far. I'm getting ahead of myself.
I like how Ebony's just like,
Sips tea.
sips tea. Yes.
Look at you, like a little deviant. Like a little deviant. Love it.
So, emotional intelligence.
Sorry. I
had a moment?
I had to gaze at my woman for a little bit.
Oh, that's why you wanted to sit across
As you
from her, huh?
should.
I don't want her sitting next to me.
Heard
Because
you.
when she clap at me, I'm gonna look like, So, if you guys have been watching the last two episodes that we did an episode on emotional intelligence, which I watched and watched and watched again. And sure enough, I noticed something. Most of the episode about emotional intelligence had to do about black men. And I said, I feel like there needs to be a part 2 of this. But not just about black women. I feel like it should be other races because we need to see how everybody else's reaction is.
Right.
And how everybody else is affected. So I'm glad to have you ladies here.
You got a Bengali girl and a Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect.
Crazy.
It was a great combination.
Beautiful.
So we have a Trini, a Bengali, and a Puerto Rican.
There you
This is
go.
gonna be wonderful.
litty.
There you go.
All right,
is.
so I'm gonna ask you, ladies, first. Knowing that your name is more than vaginas. Based on that, what do you feel is, besides the concept of you guys pretty much making it because you were high? What is it? What does that title mean to you, more than vaginas?
Well, for me, it really means that we can talk more than just girl stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or like just the big idea for us when we started it, and like, as podcasters, you guys can understand too, like how you guys even came up with your name and what your niche was gonna be and everything like that. And so the More the Vaginas name was basically just talk about anything and everything. So it's just not only about one thing. We're not only talking about girl things. We're not only siding with girls. We're not, we can do more. We can talk about more than just what girls typically would talk about, or what other people think that girls talk about. You know what I mean? Like relationships, politics, freaking pop culture, deep conversations. We have plenty of male guests like on our show to just like to being more inclusive and not just just female podcasts. Like when people see like just a bunch of females in a podcast, they think, this is gonna be like a female driven podcast or whatever, but we're more than that. So that's the whole idea.
Yeah. We're multifaceted, basically. It's just, you can't just, like, a lot of times people judge by the cover. So people will probably look at Momo and be like, oh, that's a brown girl, that's an Indian girl. They'll look at me and be like, oh, that's a Puerto Rican. Or if they start talking to me in Spanish and I'm like, they're like, oh, so you not Spanish? But that's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. But it's just that, we're just multifaceted, and we can speak on a whole bunch of different things, just like Momo was saying.
Yeah. Is you don't judge a book by its cover, and I think that's what More Than Vaginas is mostly about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So I have a question that I wanted to talk about, especially because it's one of my favorite things that I like to see, especially on your Instagram. Follow them on Instagram at We Are More Than Vaginas.
Oh, thank you for that.
Please follow.
One of the things that you guys do that's really amazing is that you'll give everybody tips on how to say something in Bengali or say something in American Sign Language.
Yeah,
So
ASL, yeah.
Teresa, I have to ask, where does the base of American Sign Language come from for years on your side?
So ASL, for me, my parents are deaf, and my mom's hard of hearing, my dad's deaf, my brother is hard of hearing. Most of my uncles on my dad's side, because my grandmother had 8 boys, half of them came out deaf, half of them came out hearing.
Like literally half.
It literally, yeah. Or is it 9 boys? She got a lot of boys, okay? And my mom, as far as for her family, she's the only one that's deaf, but she also has a cousin that's deaf. So that's where the ASL comes for me. It's literally within my family. So I'm like what you would call a CODA, children of a deaf adult, a child of a deaf adult, and yeah, that's where it comes from. But my ASL isn't as strong as it should be because, like I said, my mom is hard of hearing, so she does use a hearing aid, and she wanted to make sure that, you know, when she had kids, if they were hearing, she didn't want them to just solely rely on ASL, because she didn't want us to go to school and just be the kids that don't talk. You know what I mean? She didn't want us to be othered in that way, you know, which is why I feel like, see, now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, like, I feel like that's also why well, no, not for her, but, you know, there's a lot of people who are Puerto Rican, Spanish, whatever, that they don't know their language, and that's because the grandparents or whatever, they didn't want their children to be othered in school. Okay. You know what I mean? To be in English as a second language class. You know, they're like, nope, we're in America, you need to learn English, right? But then it's like, no, but you also need to hold on to that other piece of your culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know a lot on my side, what they do is they put them in front of a TV as a little kid so you can learn English. It's because I came to the States when I was 18 months, and so I obviously watched TV and you know.
And that's how you picked it up. Yeah. I'm telling you, one of these days I'm gonna just go fly out to Puerto Rico and just like stay there to learn to learn Spanish.
I would love to go to Puerto Rico.
That's what I want to do.
I would love to go. I know he went, but that was before we was dating.
It's fun. It's good. It's nice. It's beautiful.
It's nice, but I had a terrible experience. But that was my fault.
Is it true Puerto Rico is the country or the island that invented pina coladas? Is it true?
Maybe.
Know.
I don't know.
I heard that.
I'm not too sure. Maybe. It's possible. I don't know. But I do know Bacardi.
Yeah,
Bacardi, it started, so Bacardi started in Cuba. And then what they did was, so the legend is they took one of the, how do you make rum?
From
sugar, right?
Yeah.
So
sugar.
I guess they took the sugar canes from over there to Puerto Rico, and then that's when they started.
When they did the
and boom,
Bacardi factory.
Bacardi factory.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Bacardi Gold is a bop. I like Bacardi Gold.
Yeah,
and if you go to the
Bacardi,
if you go to the Bacardi factory, they give you like free drink tickets. Yeah, you get like 2 free drink tickets, so you could go and drink.
Hello,
for free.
Let we start booking the tickets. Let's start.
And if anybody listening to this, like, I forget what. Oh, I'm such a bad Puerto Rican. But research like where you can go to donate for like the hurricane relief and stuff like that after with Fiona and shit like that, because this is just fucking ridiculous. Yeah, this is fucking crazy.
And we will not be going down there and throwing
don't try to go
toilet
over
paper
there.
and paper towel at people.
No, don't do that.
We're not doing that.
Oh, goodness gracious. So,
oh my gosh,
Theresa, since I wanted to follow up with you, since we are talking about emotional intelligence, how was it for you emotionally growing up in a household that, you know, it's filled with everybody that has ASL?
Wow.
it's a deep story.
That is, because, so here's the thing, right? With my family, we're just that, I mean, Puerto Ricans are typically loud, but then now I'm extra loud because my parents are deaf. You know what I mean?
Have you heard her laugh?
So yeah, and I do know that, like, I spoke about this on the podcast too. Like, so my brother, out of all of our cousins, he's the only one that's hard of hearing, right? So my mom's, but you know, she, as being the only one that was hearing, and then everybody else could get jiggy with each other because they all spoke the same language. And then once I started going to school, I stopped using as much ASL in the house, right? And my brother, Danny talks. He's fine. He talks mad shit, okay? But the thing is, when he was younger, he would, you know, he was that quiet kid. And my mom's like, that's my son. And, you know, that was her baby too at that time.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was the only one in the house that, like, could hear. So I was the only one in the house that would pick up the phone, answer these phone calls, help my parents with phone calls and stuff like that, go with my parents to places, and like explain to them, read like documents and stuff like that to them and be like, I think this means such and such, and I'm doing this at 10 years old. And I feel like any immigrant family always has that one person that like, you know, they go to.
Yep.
To like, oh, can you explain this to me, or can you translate this for me and stuff like that, like, so, and it wasn't until like my sister and my two brothers came to live with us. They're my cousins, but that's my brother and my sister because you know they were raised with us. We adopt like my parents adopted. Yeah, my parents adopted them. That's my brother, and my sisters. Yeah, my sister, my brothers. So then now it was like an even playing field of hearing people to the deaf people. If anything, there was just like one more hearing person. But yeah, that's kind of like my story. Like I'm as a person, I feel like I'm pretty shy. You know what I mean? Like when I first like meet people, I'm like, hi. Like I try to be as nice as possible. You know what I mean? But it's like inside, I'm like, I hope they like me. If that makes sense.
I am the same. Yep, that's me.
I'm like, and it's like, I'm just like, okay, try and be as nice as possible. Don't come across as because you know, sometimes if you're quiet, people will be like, oh, you're standoffish. Right. You know what I mean?
I've gotten that a lot.
And I don't like,
or you have like a resting bitch face.
Or you have a resting bitch face.
Yeah.
People pointing at me.
Definitely got that.
You already pointing at Ebony, okay?
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Everything that you're saying literally relates to Ebony.
You are mirroring everything.
Whereas with me, I'm more of the double Dutch guy. So it's like with me, especially meeting you guys for the first time, it's just like walking in, I'm just like, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I should do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it.
Especially like you by being by yourself and everything like that. Like I couldn't do it. Like,
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
That's why when you met me, I was so drunk because I was like,
she was double fisting drinks.
I was double fisting drinks because
pre-game too.
Yeah, I pre-gamed and I was like, because my socialing, you know, it was just a lot of people in one place, and then it's like, you know, and I haven't really partied after COVID. And then the other thing is I'm a little bit older. So I'm like, do I still want to party? Like I did all my party and shit. Like it was a time, but you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
Listen, it was a time, but hence why you met me so drunk. But I'm wondering if I even answered the question. What?
No, you answered the question.
Definitely answered it. So Momo.
Yes.
Like you said, you came here at 18 months. How was it for you being in a Bengali household growing up?
You know, I feel like as you get older, you really kind of discover like what you really felt when you were a child. Because, you know, you're being exposed to your younger fellow, like my little sister, whatever. Like, oh, I went through the same thing, whatever. So for me, what it was is, you know, in the house, we did, you know, speak Bengali and everything like that. Me and my brothers are the one that came from Bangladesh, and my two younger sisters were born here. And for me, it's, you know, it was different because, like, we would go to school and there's a lot of, like, custom and the culture and everything was different. So I would get the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? I was born there and I'm growing in a household full of Bengali people and that speaks Bengali and everything. And then I'm also going to a school that's diverse, has Hispanic, Black, Asian, white kids or whatever. So it was just a big eye-opener as someone that did grow up in the States compared to, like, my oldest brother that came here when he was 12. And in a way, like, looking back at it, as I'm 30 right now, like, looking back at it, I feel like in a way I was kind of lost with both cultures because it's like, you know, I'm trying to be part of this culture, but then I also have this culture. I can't lose this culture. But it's just, you know, with a lot of Bengali culture, they're not as open to things as you know, American culture is and stuff like that. So growing up, I just really had to find myself a lot. A lot of times I was lost and everything. Right. And I mean, I don't know if you guys like are aware. I do talk about it on the podcast a lot. I was married at 16 and everything, so that took a toll of my, you know, teenage years as well, and a lot of back and forth, a lot of depression, just trying to figure out who I am and everything. But it's tough because it's like when you have parents that are in the brown community, from the brown culture, majority of the time they're very strict, and like you gotta be Bengali, like, or they'll be disappointed in you, or they make you feel bad, or they threaten you with their death or whatever, or they threaten you with like they'll disown you type of thing. So there was a lot of anxiety built with that. And I also like didn't learn how to cope with certain emotions like love or anger or whatever, or sometimes even to say no, because I always said yes to my parents. So it's like with that authority, so that also like tied into my emotional intelligence as well, because it's like relationship wise, I didn't know how to love someone, because my dad didn't teach me. My mom was in a relationship with my dad where he was the breadwinner, and he, was aggressive with her a lot of the times, and like she did whatever he said to do and stuff. So, and my brothers didn't know shit either. So, I had to learn it myself.
That's the norm for you, because that's your family.
Right. So it's just like the whole, the certain stuff that I do, even with my relationship right now with Devon, certain stuff that I do now is based off of like my culture. Like, Devon's like, oh, when we go to my grandma's house, like help her set the table. I was like, I do this.
I already do that.
Like, I already do that, like to serve the men first and everything like
Momo
that.
be hosting.
Yeah. So it's just that comes with the culture and everything. So like a lot of my emotional intelligence, I'm still dissecting it now. I'm getting better at my emotional intelligence. In the past, I think I would say the past almost 3 years, I've gotten better. Yeah. But that's with a lot of life coaching and dissecting and really digging deep in my childhood.
I can definitely relate. I grew up in a traditional Trinidadian household. I won't even say Trinidadian, just traditional Caribbean household. Both my parents are from Trinidad, and trust me, like I get what you're saying. Even though love was expressed, like I see it in my parents, like, they, when it came to when it came to my emotions, I was always taught like to be, when it came to guys, it's like, oh, don't do this with them, don't do that.
Right.
It's like, and it's hard when you have strict parents, because you can't come to them with those growing pains.
No, you cannot.
You cannot. And the thing is, even I'm also in my 30s, I'm 31. I can't speak to my mother about certain things. She knows I've been with this guy for how many years. And she knows what the deal is.
Right.
You think I could come to my mother and say, Ma, no.
No.
Hell no. And then like even when it came to dating, right? If I was to break up with somebody, I remember me and him took a little period of time where we were not together, and I decided to talk to other people, and my mom did not understand that. She looked at it as though, oh, you're being loose, you're jumping from man to man. What? How do you expect me to meet other people?
At least you were able to date.
Oh, well, that was hard enough. I mean, girl, that was a struggle. No. That was a struggle. I had to sneak and all this stuff. That's why it's like, and I think when it comes to that, watching how I have to hide my emotions or hide certain things, it kind of makes me think as a woman, when I'm ready to have a child, how am I going to relate to my kids? How am I going to, when my daughter or my son goes through those same growing pains, adulting, am I going to act the way my parents, my mom act, or am I going to be understanding, know that I went through it, and just,
It's crazy because
that is scary, because that's the only way you would know how to parent. That's how you were parented,
right?
It's crazy because
so you have to actively work to change it.
I'm kind of in a test trial right now. I don't have any kids, but.
I'm sorry. I know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. My bad.
I don't have any kids, but my youngest sister, she was a surprise baby. My mom had her when she was 42.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just, anyway, that's something, I was going to say something about my parents' sexual life, but anyway. What happened was, so she's 18, well, she's 19 actually now. Her birthday just passed, and I'm 30, and like, as in her teenage years, like she's going through the things that I went through, you know, or she's recently really come to me or whatever because I've actually created a safe space for her to talk to us about. So originally she didn't come to us because she felt like that because my parents are getting old. So a lot of her, like, you know, telling her to do good in school and stuff like that comes from me and my other sister. She's 28. And she expressed, hey, you guys, you know, usually come to me just lecturing and stuff. I can't come to you guys as like sisters. So that, like, okay.
Opened your eyes.
Opened my eyes. I'm like, okay, like I'm really parenting you right now, and me being a parent, I'm not creating a safe space, something that I've always wanted from like my siblings. I honestly, when I was a kid, I didn't even expect it from my parents. I didn't even try, you know what I mean? Because they were so strict and everything like that. So like I'm learning now on like how to really be patient with my sister when she tells me about, you know, boys and stuff like that. A part of me cringes. Like it's really, I don't like, especially the stuff that I'm like, hold on. I told her, hold on, give me a second. I need to like take this in for a second or whatever, because the stuff that you're telling me right now, I did not expect you. I told Dev, and he's like, oh my God, not sweet angel Annika. Are you serious? I'm like, yes, she's not such an angel right now, but I'm learning from her and like a little bit of what my parents would do to me or like, you know, react to things. I would catch myself with my sister and not judge her or like yell at her and stuff like that because you like a boy. You know what I'm saying? So just totally, I think about the children aspect too.
Definitely. So one thing you did say before is for the past 3 years, you know, you've been getting better, especially with life coaching. Now, we all know what has happened over the past 3 years. And for those who don't know, Momo is a traveling nurse.
Yeah, I just became traveling nurse this year, but
congrats.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to it next year. Right now, I'm trying to get a full time. Like I got a full time job, just to get more experience, and I'm gonna go back to traveling nurse where the money is.
Dollar bills, y'all. Dollar bills.
Mad at
but
it.
in general, being a nurse, how was it for you during the pandemic?
I was really emotionally stressful. Like it was really, really stressful because it was scary, honestly. Like we were in the, like, literally everyone told us, hey, if the next person does not come in for that shift, then you might have to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is after doing 12-hour shift and everything. But just to like summarize everything about COVID, and I was in the ER, and then they would like float us to the medical upstairs or whatever, and it would just be anxiety built through the roof. A lot of my nursing friends would really cry over the phone. Like, it was so tough to the point where it's like, I didn't want to go to work. Like, is this patient gonna spit at me? You know, stuff like that. So it was draining emotionally, like,
especially because since you've never been trained to do stuff like this.
And then
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like to fucking be a nurse during a pandemic.
And then if you see someone die in front of you, it really changes. I literally, the first time that someone died in front of me, I was still in school, and it literally took me like 2 weeks to get over it. I was because I was thinking of my father, and then I was thinking about my, you know what I mean? And I just started bawling. It was bad, but we all made it through. You know, we just that's when I learned that, honestly, as a nurse, like as a nurse that I am, it took a lot of strength, and I'm proud of myself. So, toot my own horn.
At this moment, we would like to thank Momo for her service during the pandemic, her contribution to everything. Thank you.
You know what's so funny? There was one time I did night shifts at the time. There was one time I was rushing home because I wanted to go to sleep, and I ran the red light, and it was literally mid, like when it was locked down and everything, and then the cops stopped me.
Nobody in the streets. Yeah.
No one was on the street. So that was the one most beautifulest thing ever. There was no fucking traffic. It was no fucking traffic. I'm like, this is how life's supposed to be, but everybody got a fucking car in New York City. But I ran the red light, and the cop stopped me, and I saw him coming. I was like, I put my ID on so fast.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, hi. And I was acting dumb. Like, I didn't know why I was being stopped. And he was like, oh, are you a nurse? I was like, yes.
Not the shift of the
the shoulder. And then he was like, let me just get your ID. And then he just gave me back the ID. He was like, well, thank you for your service and you can keep going. Just don't do it again. I was like, oh my God. I was like, fucking hell.
Especially since he's a cop and see, he's like, I get it.
Yeah, pretty much.